You guys, this is a lot of hair.
Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica.
And I am Brian.
We're here with an update video.
Yes, it has been a minute since we've done an update.
Yes, so the last videos you saw were actually filmed back in July, like July 11th and 12th, when we went our very first trip up to the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, that was just, a meeting, blood work, like that kind of deal. So
it was a very quick trip, and we literally left. We went up one night, did a bunch of appointments, and then left the same day because we had to get home, and it was just really quick and back and forth. But we got a lot in on that trip.
Yes.
So the first thing I want to say is, when we left off, so we kind of had taken a little bit of a break over the last month, so from YouTube, and we got to the point where we had those videos, and those road trip kind of weird videos where it's a million clips that I put together is so much work for Brian to edit.
Yeah. When I film, it's efficient and it's easy to put together. When she films, it's like, let's get a shot of this. Let's get a shot of that. Let's put this in here.
Show them everything.
And then when I start editing and I remove something, then she's like, wait, you got rid of that
you
one
got
shot?
Rid of the best shot.
The 15-second shot that I really, really wanted?
My hair looked good in that shot.
Yeah, I got rid of that shot because it wasn't necessary.
Anyway, so we kind of sat on that footage for a while because it just sometimes when it just gets so obnoxious, but then we have this backlog of content that we want to get out before we post anything new.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of just every Sunday we're just like, do you want to do something? But the other thing we've been doing is taking time away from cancer land, you guys.
Yeah.
And making memories and doing a little bit of travel with it was just time for us.
Yes.
And so we have had a lot of that, and it's good to remember that even though I have cancer and our lives changed back on June 3rd when we found that out, we still can make memories. We're still us. We're still goofy. We're still just whatever. And so if you actually follow us on social media...
We're sitting in front of 1,000 bears here.
Hey,
so
my collection's multiplying. I have cancer. I deserve bears.
Okay.
So, literally, though... It's just, we're just our goofy selves. And if you want to see more of us goofy in into our lives, actually the best way to do that is follow us on Instagram and Facebook and follow the stories because I post all kinds of stuff there when I'm feeling up to it.
Yeah.
And if I disappear and go dark for a week or two, don't worry. It's probably just I'm just not feeling like sharing. I just kind of want time for myself sometimes. And then I get into these bursts where I'm like, I want the community and I want to talk to the community.
Yeah.
So it's kind of back and forth. But when we left you in our last video, we were sitting in the car waiting actually for me to go into a CT scan at the Mayo Clinic because they got me in the same day. We were talking to the doctors and we're like, I don't have a good CT scan of me because a lot of the ones that they did at my original hospital in St. Louis were done without dye, contrast and stuff like that, because they were worried about my kidneys, and the dye is really hard on your kidneys, but with that ureter, it was a whole thing. So one of the things that we wanted to do was get a really good CT scan while I was up there.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, I had to drink the purple smoothie. You guys, I'll put a picture up, or he'll put a picture up because he's going to edit this.
I remember being whitish.
It was purple.
I don't recall.
I guess it was
She didn't
white.
like it, but
I don't know why I thought it was purple. I feel like it had a purple tinge to it, but when we see the photo, you'll see. I guess it was kind of white. Maybe the bottle was kind of purple. I don't know, but it was supposed to be berry flavored, and it was anytime you are sat down and forced to be here, drink this one between the next 20 minutes, and then drink this one, and then, or this one in the next 20 minutes, and this one in the 20 minutes after that. And it's just the stuff that is weird stuff, but it's here, it looks like a berry smoothie. It's no, it's not pleasant. So I did not enjoy that. But the CT scan they got was a lot better quality because of me drinking that. And then they put actually an IV of dye in you while you're in the CT scan too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drink stuff makes it show up better. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but so we did a CT scan. So we got a very late start driving home. So by the time we were driving home that same day that you saw us, in the last video, it was probably 5 o'clock by the time we left the hospital. And it's a good 7-hour drive to get
I don't
home.
think we got home until about 2 something in the morning, actually.
But My wonderful, amazing husband got us all the way home while I rested in the back in pain and just like, yeah, I was going through a lot that day.
Blasting some music.
But he's my savior and he got me home safe. Yeah, so that was an unexpected little addition to the trip, but we were glad that we got it in because it's something that needed to be done. But the results pop up on my app, like literally while we're driving home. And the first results popped up and it was like, I think the lung part of it, and it said everything looked good. There was nothing weird with my lungs. And I was like, yay, that's cool. That's awesome. Then they put up the rest of it, which was like the main part that they were looking at, like the pelvic region and all that. And it was like just a lot.
Yeah.
Like in reality, it was a lot. Coming off of that high of like them telling us like, this is cure. We're going for a cure. Like, you know, it was a lot to take in the results of that CT scan. And when you're reading it on your app, before you're talking to a doctor and you're like, you don't understand the words, you're Googling them. I'm on the phone with my brother and sister-in-law, like, like, what does this mean? They're Googling things. It's a lot. You want to tell them kind of the breakdown of what they found?
Yeah. So when they did the CT scan, they found a few things that were of note. One thing, and that we'll explain here, we had just gotten done doing a round of IVF egg retrieval.
I had my egg retrieval on like 2 days before the CT scan.
Yeah, so when they did the CT scan on her, they looked at her other ovary and they saw
right one, my only ovary.
her only ovary now, and they saw something on there. So when they look at the CT scan, like they look at that and they think, oh, there's a mass on there.
It was like a 5 centimeter mass that they said they saw.
Yeah, it was.
That could be suspicious for being.
Yeah. So, but
like
they're
metastatic.
Obviously, though, when they're dealing with ovarian cancer, they're thinking, oh, there's something else on the other ovary now, so therefore it's already gone to there. However, we have just gone through weeks of them looking like literally like doing an ultrasound on her ovary.
Like that ovary has been in the spotlight for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They just did surgery on it, like to take the eggs out. So,
yeah, and they didn't notice anything. And in fact, our fertility doctor even talked to us later on and was like, there's that is directly from the egg retrieval, like that there's.
So it's probably not
cancer.
It's probably not like, oh, here I all of a sudden have this 5 centimeters, because when the CT people are looking at it with the guise of like, I have cancer, they are like,
without
this
knowledge
is a
of
cancer
IVF.
patient. They don't know I did IVF. They're like, oh my God, she has this new 5 centimeter mass in her other ovary. It's spreading. It's metastatic. It's whatever. So that we're not really worried about.
Yeah, that and even our doctor at the Mayo Clinic
was like
okay. They agreed that was due to that.
Yeah.
And especially because like still doing ultrasounds and stuff like that
so I started another round of IVF after that, and another round. I've done 2 rounds. So the second round, like again, when they were looking at my ovary, I'm like, is there a big mass in there? And they're like, no, like we don't see that.
Yeah.
So
that one kind of got explained away,
okay, cool.
but then when you look at the report on the CT scan, they're like, oh, it's spread to the other ovary. No,
it hasn't.
They talked about some of the lymph nodes being enlarged, which we kind of already knew in the first place. But the one that was like the real shocker, though, was that they found 20 lesions.
20 plus.
20 plus lesions on her liver.
Ill-defined.
Yes. And so that made them kind of go into a different mode of, well, if they're in their minds, obviously she has cancer, therefore there's
suspicious.
It makes this all suspicious, and then they believe that it's possible that it has spread to her liver. Now, which is bad. It means that it's metastasized and it's spread to another part of the body, therefore making it changing from stage 3 to stage 4 cancer, and that brings about a whole other host of things.
Yeah,
with
literally, like we were looking up all these reports beforehand, before filming this video, and just even reading through them makes me sick to my stomach to read, because it's like, it's so scary. There's just so much what if, and is this happening, and is that really, and these reports are hard to read. We have an amazing team at Mayo Clinic. We have an amazing doctor that is working with us and explaining all this to us and working with all the other doctors and navigating it. But when you just read those reports, it's like, even just looking at them now, even though I know what most of it means now, it like literally makes me sick to my stomach to even read it.
Yeah. So the doctor explained to us, though, that basically because these lesions are there, it makes them believe that it's spread to the liver.
Yeah,
and
so
therefore they need to do a liver biopsy to check out those lesions and find out if they are actually cancer.
Which I have had the liver biopsy since then. We actually got a preliminary result back from that, but we're not going to talk about the results yet because we haven't talked to the doctor. So it's just us reading. So we want to process it with the doctor before we like relay on to you. Right now, like it's not, bad news and it's not good news. It's just kind of like we'll go through that. Hopefully we'll get more information and be able to go through that with you.
Yes.
But the other thing that we talked about with them when we were in Rochester is that they were going to put my case up for review on the tumor board. So we got a call basically saying they've scheduled your case for the tumor board. It was for not that Friday, but the next Friday.
Friday, yeah.
And so every Friday they do the tumor board review at Mayo Clinic, which basically just means that all the important doctors get together. I like to imagine they throw your slides of your like pathology up on like some big giant screen, and they're all in some fancy conference
control room, and it's like giant screen,
and they're like, this is
it's all shadowed.
Yeah, it's like 36-year-old whatever, this is her weird slide, let's look at her thing, and then they all geek out. I don't know if that's what it's like, but
wow,
they would geek out because this is like fascinating for these people, these doctors. This is what these people do. They're like, can we kill this? Like, and so they put me up for review on the tumor board. And Brian, if you can kind of, again, reading through the report for that, of their review of my pathology makes my stomach sick.
So,
but basically, sorry.
Go ahead.
I know, sorry.
You're just jumping all over me today, though.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. I love you anyway.
No, what I was going to say is that, basically, just to remind you, my pathology was done by my hospital, Mercy, in St. Louis, but this was Mayo Clinic. When you get accepted there as a patient, they do their own review of the pathology. So basically, what they're reviewing on the tumor board is based on the pathology results that Mayo got after reviewing my slides, and then the tumor board's talking about it. So there's just so many more people involved at this point, and so many more checks to go through to figure out like what this all is. But you explain it, because
So what happened, like she said, Mayo did their own pathology report with their own people and everything. And when they got the results back, and this was all presented before the tumor board as well, they actually determined that it is not a neuroendocrine carcinoma.
Well, they don't believe
it is. And what they actually believe, and according to the report, that it was a grade 3 endometrioid adenocarcinoma, which is a subcategory of ovarian cancer.
So it's not an endometrial. There's endometrial cancer, but this is endometrioid, which is ovarian cancer.
Yes.
So they believe that I have, it could be stage 4 depending on the liver thing, stage 3 or stage 4 ovarian cancer.
Yes.
But if you go into the details, it's endometrioid.
Yes.
But I also had an endometrial polyp that had some cancer, but that was like a
separate thing. So there's been some people who are commenting on there talking about neuroendocrine carcinomas and the great doctors at Mayo that treat neuroendocrine stuff. So we're not like, I mean, they're there and they can be consulted, but as of right now, they're treating this as ovarian cancer. Therefore, she's getting the chemo treatment for ovarian cancer, not neuroendocrine.
Yes. So when we first met with the oncology team in Mayo, that was the big, like, sorry, I'm playing with a hair clip. That was the big thing, was trying to figure out, how do we attack this? Do we attack this like ovarian cancer or neuroendocrine? And so they were really they took a really in-depth look at it. And they did say, and we'll put up the text of like what they actually found for anybody who's like geeks out over this and wants to read these things.
But the key thing that you want to look at in that text is the fact that they say it has like some neuroendocrine tendencies, but they don't believe that it is.
Features.
Okay,
I'm going to throw this so I don't keep playing with it.
Wow, that just went over there and bounced everywhere.
Because I'm like, Brian's going to be editing this in like the audio and like, what the heck? Stop making that clicking noise.
Oh, I mean, I don't
So,
care.
yes, you do.
No,
anyway, so, yeah, so it's very complicated, but like, again, read through the text if you want to read through the text. If not, like, whatever, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those were kind of the findings from the tumor board. Any other things of note?
Just to kind of like recap what has sort of gone on now. So the pathology has changed. They now believe that it is endometrioid adenocarcinoma. And they believe that the staging has changed from stage 3 to stage 4, which then, of course, like, basically, the difference between stage 3 and stage 4, they say, is that they say stage 4 is not curable, but, you know, that doesn't mean that it's not a death sentence, is, you know, what that means. But it's a whole other thing, and I know I'm kind of stumbling over my words here. I don't really know how to say this properly, but one of the biggest differences is that with stage 3, they would, like I said, they treat this as curative, which means that they would do a full hysterectomy on Jessica most likely in the future. And they say if it's stage 4, they won't necessarily do a hysterectomy unless it's causing problems or like symptoms. So
the difference is really surgery options. So if it's stage 3, they're more open to like surgery options. If it's already stage 4 and advanced that far, they don't want to put me through surgery unless it's basically, they use the word palliable, which I hate because that makes me think, oh, you're dying and they're just trying to keep you comfortable.
That's not what that is.
I know it's not what that is, but that's what I associate with that. And so that was scary to read. When I saw that word on the report, that was like a lot for me to take in. But if I have stage 4, they'll only do surgery just to keep me comfortable, kind of more thing. And so it's, you know, we're hoping and holding out that the liver biopsy does not come back and find that I have cancer in my liver. They're still suspicious of it because I have cancer and it looks bad. I know my CT scan looks bad, people, but like, let's hold out some hope. Brian's like my hope, my beacon of hope. Well, I mean, so I'm like, I believe Brian and not the doctors. Okay, cool.
I mean, the doctor once told you, you know, it looks like cancer, but it's probably not cancer.
Yeah.
And now, you know, they're saying, you know, well, it looks like it might be cancer, you know, but I'm saying it's not.
Until they can prove it's cancer, I'm going with it's not. And the thing is, like,
I'm standing in faith. And if you guys are going to pray for that. Pray that it's not in her liver.
Yes. So like so it's their job as doctors is to assume the worst, because if they don't assume the worst, I feel like then they miss stuff, and they have to assume, they have to look, and they have to think everything's suspicious.
Yes.
Our job is to keep the hope alive.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that's basically where we're at as far as like the actual cancer update and stuff goes. But
so I also started my chemo treatment. My first treatment was on like a little over a week ago. It was on August 12th, I think.
Yeah.
So I did the liver biopsy on the 11th. The liver biopsy was awful. I'll tell you guys that story later.
Yeah.
When I tell you the results of it, I'll tell you how the biopsy was. It was awful. The chemo, I actually slept through chemo for the most part, but I'm going to do a whole video on my first chemo experience, what happened. I had a crazy, it was a crazy thing.
Don't give away
I know, I'm not going to give away all the details.
Can't give away all the secrets.
And then I ended up in the ER like a few days later. At Mayo Clinic. It was,
It's
so
the
whole week we spent in Rochester, where I had my chemo last week and everything, was a lot.
It was brutal.
We'll definitely go into that and kind of tell about the chemo experience and how that was and everything like that. But that's a whole nother story for a different video.
But what's the next thing that we are going to talk about here, Jessica?
My hair?
Let's talk about your hair.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, guys.
She's got to get prepared for this.
This is like the last time you're probably going to see. There may be like one more small video or something, and you may see it on Instagram. But this is the last full like blown update video where you're gonna see all these beautiful locks, you guys. I just want to document My hair, by the way, like has changed so much over the last couple of years because over COVID, I stopped like showering.
You stopped washing your hair all the time.
I stopped washing my hair every day. I still showered. I actually took a bath like every day. But I stopped washing my hair every single day because I wasn't like going out and doing anything. And what I learned was, wow, that makes the natural oils in your hair, which I cannot tolerate any, like I couldn't go a day without showering, like make your hair so much nicer. It's so silky. It's so amazing. So I'm so sad that I'm going to be losing all of these locks. But I'm also not vain, and I'm not like, okay, whatever. I actually bought myself.
It'll grow back.
Do you want me to show them that? Do you want to take a little tiny break, and then I'll bring back my little cute hat so you can see my hat? Okay, bye.
Sure.
I'll be
break.
Right. I found the hat and my bunny. Somebody made this bunny for me.
Somebody made this.
Yay! Thank you for making it. It was Leanna. Okay. Here's my cute hat that I bought when I was at Mayo Clinic. Okay, ready?
Go for it.
It's so cute. It's such a cute little hat.
I mean, you're going to be wearing that for years.
I mean, it looks good with my hair, so like without my hair, but it's like super silky, like it's cotton, but it's like super soft cotton. But okay, so we got this in the wig shop. We need to talk about wigs. Like we'll talk about that in a future video. I'm like so unsure about that, but we'll do a whole other thing about that. But I'm going to lose my hair. One of the side effects of one of the 2 drugs I'm on for chemo, I'm definitely probably going to lose all my hair. They say it could just thin. Then the chemo nurse is like, no, you're going to lose it all. I'm like, okay. So I'm going on, the reason this is going to be the last time you're going to see the full shebang for the most part is because I'm going on Tuesday night and I'm actually getting a haircut. And what I want to do is do something just short and like maybe a bang, like here, like, let's see, like a nice little bang,
Wow.
Oh, look.
Just like that?
Just like that. See, it'll be great.
It'll be fantastic.
So I want to do something fun because apparently the word on the street is that your hair starts to fall out with this specific drug like about 2 weeks after your first chemo. So right now my hair is not falling out and it's all good and dandy, but in about a week here, it's probably going to start falling out, and this is going to be a lot to have around the house. So I'm going to get it cut a lot shorter. So stay tuned to find out what that haircut looks like. But then after that, I'm probably going to, like, another week later, probably, like, shave it all off if it starts falling out.
Yeah.
I'm scared. What if my head's shaped, like, lumpy and stuff?
No, your head's going to look great, just like the rest of you. The funny thing, though, is that, yes, in future updates and stuff, she will probably be without hair or wearing her hat or possibly having a wig and all of that. But then, in all of these recipe videos that we're going to be posting, she's going to look like
this. Have a full head of hair. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's going to be very strange.
We still have, like, probably, I don't know, 18 or so videos that we need to release.
We got a lot. And I promise I'm working on them this week.
Then here's a teaser. The next one is going to be a lion's mane crab cake recipe. And I'll show a picture of it because they look freaking amazing.
Yeah. So we're going to get started posting the recipe videos just to kind of like actually start getting those out. And, not to mention, it's nice to take a little bit of a break from this is cancer all the time.
Yes. This is not the cancer channel.
No, it's not.
It's just what we're in our life, but we still want to share great whole food plant-based recipes. And also I have some actually guests that I'm trying to line up.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff
to talk about like whole food plant-based and its role in cancer treatment and all that kind of stuff. So we do have some content like that will come up as well for those of you who are watching us for the cancer content. So it'll be a mix of all things, but basically just tune in if you love us. If you love us, stay with us. We'll be here.
Yeah, and how do you tune in? You subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification that is right next to it so you get notified whenever we post a new video on YouTube. But if you follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Crocs in the Kitchen, that is Crocs with a K, you can get all of these great updates that Jessica does on there, including like the Instagram stories. And those also get posted on Facebook too, so you can see all of those there as well. Plus, you can send messages or just comment and do all that kind of stuff. But we really do post a lot of updates on social media, so please go and follow
mainly in
there.
the stories. So you have to like check our account every day because stories disappear. So
yes.
Yeah. So you click on our profile icon and then you can see the stories, whether you're on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. But I think that's all I got for this one.
Well, that's definitely all I got.
We will see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen.
Bye.
Bye.